discuss more on this, I'm joined by senior sports journalist Mr. Rakesh Rao. Good afternoon, Mr. Rao. When we talk about this much-awaited clash, the clash of the two superior titans, and an evidence of how, this is the clash that everybody was really looking forward to. But whatever we say it, everything looks like an understatement. Why so? What is so important about this particular clash?
Deepika, number one, see, the Fab Four are no longer around. I mean, of course, one is still there, but the famous, those quartet of four breaks together, that's no longer there. So the tennis fans are looking for new rivalries. And you could have asked for a better kind of a, finale to a Grand Slam, where the last of those four Fabs has just lost to the world number one. And the best player, on clay is taking on the world number one. So that means the best player on clay versus the best player in world rankings. You could have asked for a better finale to a super tournament, because there is no other, surface like clay which tests your physical limits, because it takes so much out of you. Each rally is likely to last. There are very few times you see serve and volley. It's only reserved for, grass courts. So here you stick around, you stay back, and you keep the ball in play. So this is the kind of thing that audience wants. They know each match can go up to 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. So people get value for their time, value for what they've spent.
Right.
So a lot of it, and of course, when you have the world's number one around, who is in top form, let's not forget that since August last year, he has played 49 times and won 47 of those. That means he has won 2 slams in between, and both his losses have come to the man who's going to stand opposite to him across the net. So it's absolutely fantastic. The world number one is in top form, and the man who's looking for, looking to defend his French Open title is looking to do it at the expense of the world number one.
That's true. And also when we look at it, Yannick is the kind of player, who loves to play in the very fast pace in the entire match for howsoever, for howsoever long it goes. Can Alcaraz match up his pace, or will he hold a different technique, because this is the ultimate clash today?
See, the best chance for Alcaraz to win is not to give any pace to Sinner. He loves the ball to come on, and this guy is going to cut down on pace. So you are going to see a lot of soft shots, a lot of drop volleys, especially the approach shots. And Alcaraz has already proved that he is not afraid to experiment. He's willing to innovate. So every time you see him with his approach shot, what you see is that he can play it anywhere. He is willing to take the chance. He will drop the ball short. And because it's clay, it allows the opponent to cover a lot of ground. That could also be a strategy, because if Sinner cannot last physically for the duration of the match, Alcaraz is no doubt he's a fitter guy, and of course the way he bounces around the court, you haven't seen anybody quite like Sinner. For his strength, you have to understand that he's so accurate. The economy of effort, which you see, he's so accurate with his first serves, and his percentage of second serve is so high. And he hardly gets broken in the entire tournament till he was broken in the last match. He didn't drop a serve. So just imagine his consistency against a man who loves his service. So, whichever way you want to look at it, world number one versus world number two, top class competition, top class finale.
Indeed, and when we talk about Alcaraz, you said it very rightly that he's got the experience and he's unstoppable, but he also has an upper hand on clay courts, and he will play his best suited best of 5 format also today. Can this demoralize Sinner anywhere, apart from having the big match pressure that he already must be having?
See, the pressure will be more on, I think, Alcaraz, for the simple reason everybody treats him like the successor to Rafael Nadal. Now, everybody expects him to come back and retain the crown, but let's not forget he's up against a guy who's playing so well. Sinner's game hasn't dipped at all, and to beat somebody like Novak in straight sets, not easy at all. And let's not forget, Novak is a very inspired player. He's still looking for his 25th. So, we are looking at players, these 3 names in particular, Novak, Sinner, and Alcaraz. 3 of these guys, 3 of them making it to the Grand Slam semi-finals here, like in France. I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything better here because these were the three guys expected to be in the last four. They made it. And now you have Sinner versus Alcaraz. Two guys, young guys who've been playing together from the last 6 years. If I may just recall one thing, 6 years ago was their first meeting in what was Alcaraz's first ATP Challenger tournament. And Sinner was there waiting for him, and Alcaraz beat him then. And then if you see their last four encounters, just the last four, Alcaraz has won 4-0. So, though their record stands at 7-4, but Alcaraz has won the last four, so he holds that edge. And it will be very, very interesting to see how well Sinner serves, because you know that Alcaraz is one of the finest receivers of serve in the game today, especially on clay. So you are going to have an accurate server against somebody who is supposed to be a great returner.
Right. And when we talk about the clay court, I would request you to hold on for a second as we now dig into the unique layers beneath the iconic Roland Garros surface and uncover how famous red clay court is made. Well, the earth is covered with a total of 5 layers, each around 80 centimeters in depth, which is the first is made up of stones, followed by gravel and clinker, which is made out of volcanic residues, limestone, and finally a thin layer of crushed brick about 2 millimeters thick, giving the courts their hue. And if we further talk about it, a different floor makes for a different game than the one played on grass or synthetic surfaces. Red dirt is slower, which makes for a brand of tennis which is less direct and more tactical, where a certain shot can lead to a conclusion 4 or 5 shots later. Now it also brings out spin and favors those with more light and shade in their game, be it topspin, slice or drop shots. So these are some interesting facts about the clay court and why clay courts are important. Going back to Mr. Rao. Mr. Rao, why clay court is so tough for the players and who can be better at this particular clay court condition, because this is of course a very tough surface to play on.
See, it's very clear that this draws so much out of you. The whole thing is that you've got to be physically at your 100%. You can't walk in here not feeling great about yourself, because you know that each match on an average can last up to 3 to 4 hours. A match on grass in comparison can end in 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 3 sets. But here, each set is likely to go around 40, 50 minutes on an average. It can go beyond that also, because the ball stays in the rally for much longer. That's the reason. And also shot making. You have to continue to be accurate. You have to continue to make shots. Otherwise, your opponent will kill you. So that's why you have to keep hitting the ball deep, because you can't let that opponent come in. Because once he comes in, then it's almost certain that that person will go for the kill. He won't rally around. So the point is that when you talk about clay court, here it's about your number of shots and your ability to hit continuously and consistently from the baseline. So it really is very difficult. And the bounce can be a little uneven here, unlike the hard courts. But yes, we are already into the second week, the last day of the tournament. The tournament is already a fortnight old. So, of course, no matter what you do to it, it just gets a bit loosened up. So you've got to be sure that the bounce is true. And that's why so much work goes into it. As you are showing the composition of the clay here, it's very true that a lot of science is involved. It's not just they have dumped clay here. They have actually made it in such a way that it stays true from day one to the last day. So technology, science, no matter what you call, credit to the people who have thought about it, and that's what has made a clay court season so special. And this is the end of the clay court season today, before we move to grass and then to the harder surface.
Right. And considering all the factors that we just talked about, right from players' performance to their SWOT analysis to the court, who has an upper hand today?
I would like to go with Alcaraz.
Okay.
Not because he's just, he's good because of the variety that he has. Sinner is predictable. He's predictably accurate. That is the problem here, because you know he's not going to. But what happens if an element of inconsistency seeps into his game? Because Sinner has been playing top-notch game continuously, no matter who the opponent is. Whereas Alcaraz looks vulnerable But what gives him the edge is that he keeps his opponent guessing. He's not as predictable as a world number one. So there's a lot to watch out for, and a lot of great shot making. Because I would expect Sinner to try to pass Alcaraz, whereas Alcaraz is going to invite a lot of shots from him. He's going to drop the ball short repeatedly. That's what he has often shown. Be it the harder surfaces, be it clay, he is not afraid of playing the drop shot, which you hardly see. Backhand drop volley is a rarity these days. And that too, where the ball dies at the net. So that is what makes Alcaraz so interesting.